So what started off to be a possible near adaptation of the Richard Bachman novel of the same name, of course written by Stephen King, ended up being more lighthearted than it should have been. Now, The Running Man, although it's a classic movie with Richard Dawson as well, Jim Brown, and some key character actors, including Mick Fleetwood. The Christopher Reeve was once attached to play the hero of the piece, Ben Richards. In a 2015 interview about the film, Paul Michael Glasser of Starsky and Hutch fame said that he was originally approached to direct the film, but declined because he felt that the pre-production period was insufficient. Director Andrew Davis was hired instead, but was fired after just 2 weeks because the production was 1 week behind schedule. Glaser was then hired. Arnold Schwarzenegger, who played Ben Richards, of course, has stated this was a terrible decision as Glaser shot the movie like it was a TV show, losing all their deeper themes. LA Weekly stated the film's tone changed from a dark allegory to a dark, humorous action film with the change in the film's star. With Reeve, The Running Man was about an unemployed man who goes on a violent game show for a 30-day period to feed his family. With Glaser and Schwarzenegger, the protagonist became a condemned but innocent criminal force into a 3-hour gladiator-style game show by the justice system. Screenwriter Stephen E. D'Souza wrote 15 drafts of the script over the course of the film's development. When the movie was shown to a test audience, the deepfake technology led to believe the two main characters were actually killed. Only later, when Richards and Amber see it again, did he realize they were still alive. But a producer claimed the audience would be too stupid to understand what happened and ordered the movie to be edited so everyone knew right away that it was not the real characters that died. Now, pop star Paula Abdul choreographed the pre-show dance sequences. This was her second film credit, though she had already choreographed 4 Janet Jackson videos, as well as short films for ZZ Top, Duran Duran, and Debbie Gibson. The music used for the pre-show entertainment was composed by Jackie Jackson and was dubbed Paula's theme in honor of Paula Abdul, because I think at the time she was either dating Jackie or Jermaine, I can't remember. The producers originally wanted Chuck Woolery to play Damien Killian, but Woolery was unavailable due to his hosting jobs on Love Connection and Scrabble. Arnold Schwarzenegger suggested Richard Dawson of Match Game and Family Feud fame to play Killian because he and Dawson were close friends, and Schwarzenegger was at the time a big fan of Family Feud, which Dawson hosted. The film's release was postponed from summer 87 to Thanksgiving 87 due to the producer's desire for the film to be only action thriller released during the holiday season. The film opened wide on 1,600 screens on November 13, 87 to mostly positive reviews. Now, the movie itself, the budget was very high for TriStar, who later merged with Columbia. $27 million, it made $38.1 million, but made a lot more on video releases over the years. And like I said, Professor Toru Tanaka, the stuntman and wrestler, played Sub-Zero. We had Jesse Ventura as Captain Freedom. Yvette Koto, always a great performer from Alien fame, as William Longland, one of the three, the three escaped prisoners. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the idea about the Running Man, it was mostly, again, due to the music. It was always played like a video game all the way through. Now, Artisan Entertainment eventually released the film on DVD 10 years later and again in 2004. The 2004 release includes no special features, audio commentaries, and a surround studio mix. On February 9, 2010, Lionsgate released the film on Blu-ray with a 7.1 surround sound mix. Olive Films, under license from Paramount, who owns the film due to having the Taft Pictures library, re-released the film on DVD and Blu-ray with the original 2-channel surround mix in 2013. Now, in 2022, for the film's 35th anniversary, Paramount Home and Entertainment announced an Ultra HD 4K Blu-ray release on the film would be let go on November 8th, 2022. The disc includes Dolby Vision, HDR10, and a surround mix. Paramount also owns the TV and streaming rights, and the edited version has appeared on TV many times. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, there was a lawsuit that was involved with it. The lawsuit determined the movie was plagiarized from the 1983 French film Le Prix de Danger, The Price of Danger, directed by Yves Boisset, which was made after Robert Shakely's 58 short story, The Prize of Peril, just like the 1970 worst German TV movie does Millienspiel. I don't know if Stephen King was involved in a lawsuit. Now, Roger Ebert only gave the film 2.5 stars out of 4, complained that all the action scenes are versions of the same scenario, but praised Dawson's performance, who was ripped off for a Best Supporting Actor nomination, of course. At the time, the LA Times said The Running Man is by far Schwarzenegger's best vehicle since The Terminator. Not such high praise, if you recall what came in between. And he suggests that his Frank Frazetta frame shows best in these fantasy sci-fi settings, like the Conan aspect. On the review website Rotten Tomatoes, 67 of 48 critics determined the movie as positive. The website's consensus reads, The Running Man is winking sci-fi satire with ridiculous clothing and workmanlike direction. Now, on the film's 30th anniversary, The Running Man was cited by a BBC journalist as having made accurate predictions about life in 2017, including economic collapse and offering a critique of American TV culture. The film's writer, Stephen D'Souza, himself reinforced these predictions in the podcast with Vice Magazine's Motherboard section. Reed Tugger of the New York Post said in 2019 that the film correctly predicted a widening gap between the rich and the poor. Now, a video game based on the movie was released in 1989, and there was a 1990 video game called Smash TV was inspired by The Running Man. Now, the reboot right now is set to be released on November 7th, 2025. Geez, unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Cera and Emilia Jones will be the cast, because obviously Edgar Wright is involved. Josh Brolin was announced to play the antagonist. So avoid that at all costs, ladies and gentlemen. The original has camp appeal. Mary Conchito Alonso does quite well. There's so many key words in this, especially the key of the line. He said, they go through the suicide pact? No, they're unreliable. He said, I'll be back, only in a rerun. But Richard Dawson's performance in this is just 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the idea of The Running Man, ladies and gentlemen, it's nothing like the movie, but The Running Man, again, is the book that everybody wanted to talk about. It came out in 1982. This was right after Rage, A Long Walk, and Road Work. Of course, 2 years later, you had Thinner, which was, again, made into a movie as well. Now, the Running Man book inspired, again, the movie, but Steven insisted that his name not be in the credits, and the screen credit to the film was on Richard Bachman. And the idea about the book, the paper book original, is set in the dystopian U.S. through the year 2025, in which the nation's economy is in ruins and world violence is rising. The story follows protagonist Ben Richards as he participates in a reality show in which contestants win money by evading a team of hitmen set to kill him. So it's not the same at all, because this is a payout version. Now, this was the last of the 4 books written by Stephen under the name Richard Bachman before the author's real identity was leaked to the media. And of course, Rage, A Long Walk was just made into a movie, and Road Work. The 4 novels were reissued in 1 volume in 1985 as the Bachman books. Now, King created Richard Bachman with his long-term alias, not just a temporary writing identity, but shortly after the publication of the 5th Bachman novel, Thinner, King was outed. Although Bachman is now known to be King, he used the pen name for 2 further novels, The Regulators and Blaze. He also based The Dark Half, a horror novel published in 1989, on Bachman's outing. Now, according to King's 2002 memoir, he wrote The Running Man within a single week, compared to his normal 2,000-word or 10-page daily output, so that writing a novel normally takes approximately 3 months. In The Importance of Being Bachman, a new introduction to the 96th edition of the Bachman books, King describes The Running Man as a book written by a young man who was angry, energetic, and infatuated with the art and craft of writing, and you see that. But the Running Man itself, there are different tropes like that before, The World's Most Dangerous Game and all that. But this is, like I said, it's a 2 popcorn movie and a couple of Diet Pepsis to go with it. It is a popcorn movie. There's no other way to say it. And this is one of my favorite Schwarzenegger movies, because he's playing himself in the future, if that makes any sense. So that's my take on The Running Man, the original version, not possibly the crappy movie that's going to be coming out soon. If you like what they're doing here with our Richard Bachman tributes as part of screenshots, let us know in a like, comment, subscribe, or share. Bye.